Good morning, my friend. Life is not about avoiding emotions. It's about mastering them. Every day, your mind is bombarded with feelings, fear, anger, doubt, and even fleeting moments of despair. Left unchecked, these emotions control your decisions, your actions, and ultimately, your destiny. But here's the truth. Your mind is far stronger than any emotion. Strengthening it isn't about suppressing what you feel. It's about training your mind to observe, understand, and rise above those feelings. Today, I want to talk to you about something that is at the very core of every success story, every achievement, and every peaceful moment in life. The power to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions. Life is a constant flow of experiences, and with each experience comes a wave of emotions: fear, anger, anxiety, doubt, frustration, and even fleeting moments of sadness are all part of the human experience. There is nothing wrong with feeling these emotions. In fact, they are signs that we are alive, aware, and responsive to our surroundings. But the challenge is that if we allow these emotions to dictate our actions, they can control our decisions, shape our reality, and limit our potential. It is not the presence of emotions that defines us. It is our response to them that determines our destiny. Imagine a moment when you felt an intense surge of anger, perhaps at a colleague, a family member, or even yourself. In that moment, did your anger dictate your actions, or were you able to step back and respond with clarity? Most people, at least initially, react impulsively. Our emotions can feel like sudden storms, crashing through our thoughts and sweeping us along in ways we don't intend. But here lies the essential truth. Your mind has the power to rise above these storms. Your mind is capable of observing your emotions, understanding their origin, and choosing the course of action that serves your higher purpose. Emotions themselves are not enemies. They are messages. They are signals from your subconscious that something matters, that there is energy within you that demands attention. The key is to master these messages, not be mastered by them. Training your mind to be stronger than your emotions begins with awareness. Awareness is the foundation of self-mastery. It requires you to pause and observe the emotions as they arise instead of immediately reacting. This is not always easy. In fact, it is one of the most difficult skills to develop because our natural instinct is to respond in the heat of the moment. Yet, the pause, the moment of reflection, is where your power lies. When you feel fear, anxiety, or frustration, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, does this emotion serve me? Does acting on this feeling bring me closer to my goals, my purpose, my peace? This simple question is revolutionary. It transforms emotional energy from something that drains and controls you into something that can guide you wisely. Once you begin to practice awareness, the next step is to feed your mind positively. Just as a plant cannot thrive in poor soil, your mind cannot grow strong if it is constantly fed negativity, self-doubt, or fear. Instead, consciously choose thoughts that empower you, thoughts that align with your purpose, and thoughts that reinforce your belief in yourself. Replace "I cannot do this" with "I will find a way." Replace "I am afraid" with "I am prepared." Every thought you entertain becomes the blueprint for your actions. Emotions arise, but when your mind is trained to think constructively, those emotions lose their destructive power. You begin to respond to challenges with clarity rather than panic, with strategy rather than rashness, and with calm determination rather than chaos. Consistency is the secret that separates those who master their minds from those who remain victims of their emotions. Training the mind is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. Some days will feel effortless when you can step back and observe your emotions with ease. Other days will feel nearly impossible when anger, fear, or sadness threaten to overwhelm you. On those difficult days, remember that every effort counts. Each moment you resist the urge to react impulsively, each time you choose reflection over reaction, and each instance you replace a negative thought with a positive one, you are strengthening your mental resilience. This is a lifelong journey. No one becomes a master of their mind overnight, but with patience, perseverance, and commitment, your mind becomes a fortress. Another essential aspect of training your mind is understanding that emotions are tools, not masters. They carry energy that can either uplift or destabilize you, depending on how you use it. Anger, for instance, can be a powerful motivator if channeled into productive action. Fear can sharpen your focus and drive you to prepare more thoroughly. Sadness can deepen your empathy and compassion for others. Every emotion has a purpose, but only when it is consciously managed. When you allow emotions to control your choices, they act as chains, limiting your freedom. But when you train your mind to harness the power of these emotions, they become fuel for your growth, strength, and success. Practical exercises to strengthen your mind include simple daily habits such as journaling, meditation, and conscious breathing. Journaling helps you reflect on the emotions you experience throughout the day, understand their triggers, and plan how to respond better in the future. Meditation allows your mind to quiet the noise of impulsive reactions and develop focus and clarity. Conscious breathing in moments of stress creates space between emotion and reaction, giving you the ability to choose wisely. These exercises are not just routines, they are investments in your mental strength. It is also important to surround yourself with people and environments that support mental resilience. Just as a plant grows stronger in sunlight and fertile soil, your mind thrives in positive, encouraging, and growth-oriented environments. Limit exposure to negativity, gossip, and toxic influences that provoke unnecessary emotional turmoil. Instead, engage with individuals who inspire, motivate, and challenge you to rise above your fears and doubts. Your mind reflects the environment it inhabits. By creating a nurturing mental and emotional space, you accelerate the process of mastery. Ultimately, the journey to mastering your mind and emotions is a journey toward freedom. Freedom from unnecessary stress, freedom from impulsive reactions, and freedom from self-limiting beliefs. A strong mind allows you to navigate life's challenges with calm, clarity, and courage. It empowers you to make decisions aligned with your goals rather than your temporary feelings. It strengthens your relationships, your career, and your inner peace. Each step you take in training your mind is a step toward living a life of purpose, intention, and resilience. So, my friend, I urge you to take control today. Begin by observing your emotions, reflecting before reacting, feeding your mind with positive thoughts, and practicing consistency in every action. Remember that emotions are not your enemies. They are guides. Your mind is not a passive observer. It is a powerful force capable of directing those emotions toward your higher purpose. The stronger your mind becomes, the calmer your heart, the clearer your vision, and the more unstoppable you become. Train your mind, master your emotions, step into your full potential, and live the life you were always capable of achieving. Your mind is your greatest asset. Your emotions are your raw energy, and the combination of a disciplined mind and conscious emotional management is the ultimate formula for success, peace, and freedom. Start today. Keep practicing, and you will witness a transformation not just in your actions, but in the very way you experience life itself. Today, I want to share something that could transform the way you experience life, the way you handle challenges, and the way you achieve success. Every person in this world experiences emotions, fear, anger, sadness, doubt, excitement, joy. Emotions are natural. They tell us that we are alive, that we care, that we are sensitive to the world around us. But there is a difference between feeling emotions and being controlled by them. Most people live their lives as slaves to their emotions, letting anger make decisions, letting fear stop them from taking action, letting frustration guide their reactions. The truth is that emotions are not meant to dominate you. They are signals, guidance, energy, but they are not your master. The mind is the most powerful tool you have. When trained properly, it can be stronger than any emotion, more resilient than any challenge, and more disciplined than any external circumstance. The first step in training your mind is awareness. Awareness means paying attention to the emotions that arise within you without immediately reacting to them. It is a conscious observation. When you feel anger bubbling up, instead of shouting, arguing, or lashing out, pause. Notice the anger. Ask yourself why it has arisen, what triggered it. Does responding impulsively help you or hurt you? This pause is the moment of power. Most people miss it because reacting impulsively feels natural and automatic, but when you create a gap between feeling and action, you give your mind the opportunity to choose wisely. This pause is where mental strength is born. Over time, with practice, you begin to notice patterns in your emotions, and you understand which feelings deserve attention and which are temporary distractions. Awareness is the first step toward mastery because you cannot control what you do not recognize. The next step is consciously feeding your mind with constructive, empowering thoughts. Just as a tree cannot grow in poor soil, your mind cannot strengthen if it is constantly exposed to negativity, self-doubt, and fear. Every thought you entertain shapes the way you perceive the world and the way you respond to it. When doubt arises, counter it with belief. When fear appears, counter it with preparation and courage. When frustration knocks, counter it with focus and patience. By consistently choosing thoughts that empower you, you train your mind to respond rather than react, to guide rather than be guided. Positive mental input strengthens your mental muscles, making it easier to rise above emotional turbulence. This process is not instantaneous. It requires daily repetition and conscious effort. Each positive thought, each mindful decision to not be controlled by emotion builds your resilience, making your mind sharper, calmer, and more disciplined. Consistency is the key to mastering your mind. Training the mind is not something that happens overnight. It is a journey, not a destination. Some days your mind will feel strong and capable, able to navigate emotional challenges effortlessly. Other days, emotions will seem overwhelming, and your patience may feel thin. These are the tests, the exercises that make your mental muscles stronger. Each time you practice restraint, each time you choose thought over impulse, each time you remind yourself of your higher purpose, you are building mental strength that compounds over time. Consistency creates a foundation that no emotion can easily shake. Your mind, like a trained athlete, becomes disciplined, flexible, and strong. Another essential element of mastering your emotions is understanding that emotions are not enemies. They are tools. Every emotion carries energy, and that energy can either work for you or against you, depending on how you handle it. Anger, if uncontrolled, can destroy relationships, careers, and opportunities. But anger, if recognized and channeled constructively, can become motivation to take action and solve problems. Fear, if unchecked, can paralyze you and keep you from your goals. But fear, if acknowledged and analyzed, can sharpen your focus, increase your preparation, and prevent reckless mistakes. Sadness, while uncomfortable, can deepen empathy, build compassion, and remind you of what truly matters. Emotions themselves are neutral. Their value depends entirely on how you engage with them. By training your mind to interpret, process, and respond to emotions wisely, you transform raw emotional energy into fuel for growth and success. Daily practices strengthen this process. Simple habits such as meditation, journaling, and focused breathing can radically improve your ability to control your mind and emotions. Meditation allows you to observe your thoughts without attachment, building the awareness and calm that give you the ability to respond rather than react. Journaling helps you track emotional patterns, understand triggers, and plan better responses for the future. Focused breathing during moments of stress creates space between your emotional response and your action, giving you the control needed to act intentionally. These are not just exercises, they are lifelines for anyone seeking mental strength. They reinforce the ability to stay composed when life's storms come, and they remind your mind that it is in charge. It is also crucial to create a supportive environment. The people you spend time with, the information you consume, and the energy you expose yourself to can either strengthen your mind or weaken it. Surround yourself with positivity, with mentors, with thinkers, and with people who challenge you to grow. Limit exposure to toxic influences that provoke unnecessary emotional reactions. Protect your mental space because it is the training ground for your emotional strength. A mind surrounded by negativity will be fragile. A mind nurtured with encouragement, inspiration, and constructive energy will be unbreakable. Mastering your mind and emotions is ultimately a path to freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from impulsive actions, freedom from regret, and freedom from chaos. A strong mind allows you to act with clarity, make decisions aligned with your long-term goals, and respond to life's challenges calmly and intentionally. It empowers you to remain steady when others panic, to persevere when others give up, and to remain optimistic when circumstances seem bleak. Each moment you practice self-discipline, each time you pause and reflect instead of reacting, and each instance you feed your mind with positive thoughts, you are investing in a life of power, resilience, and freedom. So begin today. Observe your emotions without judgment, reflect before reacting, feed your mind with positive, constructive thoughts. Practice consistency every single day. Understand that emotions are tools, not rulers. Surround yourself with environments and people that uplift you. And remember, the stronger your mind becomes, the more control you have over your life. You are not a prisoner of your emotions. You are their master. Train your mind to be stronger than any emotion, and you will unlock a level of freedom, peace, and potential that few ever experience. Life will always present challenges, setbacks, and unexpected twists. Emotions will rise and fall like tides. But when your mind is trained, disciplined, and resilient, you will remain steady in the storm, calm in the chaos, and focused on your goals. Each step you take in mastering your mind is a step toward a life lived intentionally, a life lived with clarity, and a life lived with courage. Begin today. Commit yourself to the process. Overcome your emotions, and watch your life transform. Your mind is the most powerful force you will ever possess. Your emotions are energy waiting to be directed. Combine a disciplined mind with conscious emotional management, and you have the ultimate formula for success, fulfillment, and inner peace. The journey may not be easy, but the rewards are limitless. Train your mind, master your emotions, become the person you were always capable of being. Today I want to talk about something that is far more powerful than any external circumstance, any situation, or any challenge you might face. It is the power to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions. Life is full of emotions: fear, anger, sadness, disappointment, joy, excitement, and even moments of confusion. Emotions are not bad. They are part of the human experience. They signal that we are alive, that we care, that we are responding to the world around us. But the problem arises when we let these emotions dictate our actions, control our decisions, and define who we are. Most people live as prisoners of their emotions, reacting impulsively, making choices based on temporary feelings, and regretting those decisions later. But you, my friend, have the opportunity to break free from that cycle. You can train your mind to rise above your emotions, to observe them, understand them, and use them as tools rather than allowing them to rule your life. The first step toward this mastery is awareness. Awareness means noticing your emotions as they arise without immediately acting on them. When you feel fear creeping in, when anger surfaces, when doubt or frustration begins to take hold, pause. Stop for a moment, take a deep breath, ask yourself, what is this emotion telling me? Does acting on it serve me, or does it control me? Most people never pause. They allow emotions to dictate their reactions. But the pause, the conscious observation, is where your power begins. In that small moment of awareness, you create a space between feeling and action. And in that space lies freedom. Freedom to choose, freedom to respond wisely, and freedom to act in alignment with your long-term goals rather than your temporary impulses. Once awareness becomes a habit, the next step is to feed your mind with positive, empowering thoughts. Just as a tree cannot grow in barren soil, your mind cannot thrive if it is constantly exposed to negative, limiting, or fearful thoughts. Every thought you entertain shapes your reality. When fear arises, counter it with preparation and courage. When doubt appears, counter it with belief and action. When frustration knocks, counter it with patience and perspective. This is not about ignoring reality. It is about consciously choosing the thoughts that empower you rather than disempower you. Over time, this consistent practice strengthens your mind, making it resilient, disciplined, and capable of handling any emotional challenge with calm and clarity. Consistency is another key element in this process. Strengthening your mind is not a one-time effort. It is a daily practice. Some days will feel easy when emotions arise and you respond calmly without effort. Other days, emotions will feel overwhelming and it may seem nearly impossible to maintain control. These are the days that truly test your mental strength. Each time you pause instead of reacting, each time you replace a negative thought with a constructive one, each time you remind yourself of your higher purpose, your mental resilience grows. Like a muscle, the mind becomes stronger with repeated exercise. The more consistent you are in training your mind, the less power your emotions will have over you. Another essential principle is understanding that emotions are not your enemies. Emotions are raw energy, and how you direct that energy determines their impact on your life. Anger can destroy relationships or drive meaningful action depending on how you handle it. Fear can paralyze you or sharpen your focus and preparation. Sadness can weigh you down or deepen your empathy and compassion. Happiness can uplift and motivate, but if uncontrolled, it can lead to overconfidence or complacency. Emotions themselves are neutral. Their power comes from the response you choose. By training your mind, you learn to channel the energy of emotions productively rather than letting it consume you. Daily practices play a crucial role in this transformation. Meditation, journaling, and focused breathing are simple yet powerful ways to strengthen your mind. Meditation allows you to observe thoughts and emotions without attachment, building awareness and calm. Journaling helps you reflect on emotional patterns, understand triggers, and plan better responses for the future. Focused breathing during moments of stress creates a pause between impulse and action, giving you the space to choose wisely. These practices are not just routines, they are exercises in self-mastery. Each time you engage in them, you reinforce the ability to remain composed, focused, and intentional, even when life becomes chaotic. Your environment also plays a significant role in shaping your mental and emotional strength. Surround yourself with positivity, inspiration, and people who support your growth. Limit exposure to negativity, gossip, and toxic influences that provoke unnecessary emotional reactions. Just as a plant flourishes in fertile soil and sunlight, your mind thrives in an environment of encouragement, learning, and constructive energy. Protecting your mental space allows you to strengthen your mind without constant interference from destructive influences. The journey to mastering your mind and emotions is ultimately a journey to freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from impulsive actions, freedom from regret, and freedom from chaos. A strong mind allows you to navigate life's challenges with clarity, purpose, and calm. It empowers you to make decisions based on logic, long-term goals, and higher purpose rather than temporary feelings. It strengthens your relationships, career, and overall well-being. Every moment you practice restraint, every time you pause and observe before reacting, and every thought you choose consciously over an automatic emotional response, you are building mental strength that compounds over time. So, my friend, begin today. Start by observing your emotions without judgment. Reflect before reacting. Feed your mind with positive, empowering thoughts. Practice these steps consistently every single day. Understand that emotions are tools, not rulers. Create a supportive environment around you, filled with people, experiences, and energy that uplift your mind. Remember, the stronger your mind becomes, the more control you have over your life. You are not a prisoner of your emotions, you are their master. Train your mind to be stronger than any emotion, and you will unlock a level of freedom, peace, and potential that few ever experience. Life will always bring challenges, setbacks, and unforeseen events. Emotions will rise like waves and sometimes crash with intensity. But when your mind is trained, disciplined, and resilient, you will remain steady in the storm, calm in the chaos, and focused on your goals. Each step you take in mastering your mind is a step toward a life lived intentionally, a life lived with clarity, and a life lived courageously. Begin today, commit to the process. Overcome your emotions and watch your life transform. Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. Your emotions are energy waiting to be directed. Combine a disciplined mind with conscious emotional management, and you have the ultimate formula for success, fulfillment, and inner peace. The journey may be challenging, but the rewards are limitless. Train your mind, master your emotions, become the person you were always capable of being. Good morning, my friend. Today, I want to speak to you about something that can completely transform your life, the ability to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions. Life is a journey filled with ups and downs, twists and turns, successes and failures. Along the way, emotions will rise inside you: fear, anger, sadness, doubt, worry, frustration, even moments of intense joy. These emotions are part of being human. They signal that you care, that you are aware, that you are responding to the world around you. But here is the key difference between ordinary people and those who achieve greatness. The ordinary person reacts to emotions, allowing them to dictate decisions and shape outcomes, while the extraordinary person trains their mind to rise above emotions, to observe them, to understand them, and ultimately to master them. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who worked in a high-pressure corporate environment. Every day he faced deadlines, conflicts, and unexpected challenges. Initially, he reacted to every situation emotionally. When a colleague criticized him, he felt anger and responded defensively, which caused tension and harmed relationships. When a project went wrong, fear and frustration paralyzed him, making it difficult to think clearly. He realized that his emotions were controlling his life, and he felt powerless. One day, he decided to take a different approach. Instead of reacting impulsively, he paused. He acknowledged his feelings, reflected on the situation, and chose a deliberate response. Over time, this practice transformed him. He became calmer, more focused, and far more effective. His emotions no longer controlled him. They guided him wisely. This is the power of training your mind. The first step to this transformation is awareness. Awareness means noticing your emotions as they arise, without immediately reacting. Anger may flare, fear may tighten your chest, or sadness may weigh on your heart. But the crucial factor is how you respond. Instead of reacting impulsively, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what is this emotion telling me? Does acting on it serve me or does it control me? This pause is where freedom begins. It is a small moment, but it is the moment where your mind takes control. With practice, you begin to recognize patterns in your emotions, understanding which feelings require attention and which are temporary disturbances. Awareness allows you to separate yourself from the emotion, giving you the clarity to act intentionally. Once awareness becomes habitual, the next step is to feed your mind with positive and constructive thoughts. Your mind is like fertile soil, and your thoughts are the seeds. When you allow fear, doubt, or negativity to take root, your mental strength weakens. When you consciously choose empowering, constructive thoughts, your mind grows resilient and disciplined. For example, when anxiety arises about a project or decision, replace thoughts of doubt with thoughts of preparation and capability. When frustration comes from a setback, replace it with patience and perspective. Over time, these small daily adjustments compound, and your mind becomes stronger than the temporary surges of emotion that once controlled you. Consistency is the key to mental strength. Training the mind is not a single event. It is a continuous journey. Some days, emotional challenges will feel manageable. Other days, they will feel overwhelming, and it may seem almost impossible to remain composed. These are the days that truly test your mental resilience. Each time you pause instead of reacting, each time you choose a positive thought over a negative one, and each time you act with purpose rather than impulse, you are strengthening your mental muscles. Like a bodybuilder exercising daily, your mind grows stronger with every consistent effort. The more consistent you are, the less influence emotions will have over you, and the greater your sense of control and clarity becomes. It is essential to understand that emotions are not enemies. Emotions are energy, and that energy can be directed. Anger, for example, can either destroy relationships or motivate meaningful action. Fear can either paralyze you or sharpen your focus and preparation. Sadness can weigh you down or deepen your empathy and understanding. Happiness can inspire action, but if uncontrolled, it can create overconfidence or complacency. Every emotion carries a message, and the way you handle it determines its effect on your life. By training your mind, you learn to harness the energy of emotions productively, turning potential obstacles into tools for growth, learning, and achievement. Practical exercises make this transformation tangible. Meditation, journaling, and focused breathing are simple yet powerful tools. Meditation allows you to quiet the mind and observe thoughts without attachment, building awareness and mental clarity. Journaling enables reflection, helping you identify emotional triggers and plan conscious responses. Focused breathing in stressful moments provides space between emotion and reaction, giving your mind the control to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Even taking a short walk when frustrated or stepping away to reset your mind are practical ways to reinforce mental discipline. These habits create a foundation upon which emotional mastery is built. Your environment also has a profound impact. Surround yourself with people who uplift, inspire, and challenge you to grow. Minimize exposure to negativity, gossip, and toxic influences that provoke unnecessary emotional turmoil. Just as a plant flourishes in fertile soil with sunlight and care, your mind thrives in a supportive and encouraging environment. Protect your mental space and make it a place where your thoughts, your focus, and your strength can grow without constant interference. The ultimate goal of mastering your mind is freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from impulsive reactions, freedom from regret, and freedom from chaos. A strong mind allows you to face challenges with calm, clarity, and purpose. It enables you to act in alignment with your long-term goals rather than being driven by short-term emotional impulses. It strengthens your relationships, enhances your performance, and creates peace within. Each time you practice self-discipline, each time you pause before reacting, and each time you choose positive and constructive thoughts, you are building mental strength that compounds over time, leading to lasting transformation. Life will always bring challenges. Unexpected events will test your patience. Emotions will rise and fall like waves. But when your mind is trained, disciplined, and resilient, you can remain steady in the storm, focused amidst chaos, and determined when obstacles appear. Each step you take toward mastering your mind is a step toward intentional living, clarity, courage, and empowerment. Begin today. Commit yourself to the process. Overcome the control of fleeting emotions, and watch as your life transforms. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. Your emotions are energy waiting to be directed. When combined, a disciplined mind and conscious emotional management become the ultimate formula for success, fulfillment, and inner peace. The journey may not be easy, and it will require patience and practice, but the rewards are limitless. Train your mind. Master your emotions. Step into the life you were always capable of living. Be the person who reacts thoughtfully rather than impulsively, who chooses clarity over chaos, and who rises above temporary feelings to live a life of purpose, freedom, and strength. So, my friend, remember this. Your mind is far more powerful than any emotion. Every moment you pause, reflect, and choose wisely, you are training yourself to rise above fear, anger, doubt, and frustration. Each step you take builds mental strength, resilience, and freedom. Embrace this practice, and your emotions will no longer control you. They will guide you toward your highest potential. Train your mind, master your emotions, and step into the life you were always meant to live. Your power is within you. Claim it.